let me tell you a story that starts with salt in the air, a porch view of the ocean, and the kind of peace you'd kill to keep, only to have it hijacked by a woman with a clipboard, pastel blazer, and delusions of power. I'm Jake Whitman, and I live on a quiet slice of coastal heaven in Cedarview, Oregon. This land has been in my family since the 1930s, passed down from my grandfather, then to my dad, and now to me. It's not just a beachfront, it's history, memories, my sanctuary. So imagine the absolute shock when I pulled into my driveway one morning, coffee in hand, and found a woman in heels, standing on my dock, waving at a tour group, yelling, "Luxury lots with ocean views. Inquire within." She had a sign planted in the sand that read, "Upcoming Cedarview Shores. Estates, Phase 2, right. On. My land." I blinked. I thought maybe I was dreaming, or hallucinating from too much caffeine. But no, this woman, who I recognized instantly as Tamara Langford, self-declared queen of our neighborhood's HOA, was leading a literal real estate tour across my beach, touting my tiki bar, my dock, even the old boathouse I restored myself. One of the tourists even asked if the charming beach bar came with the property. Tamara smiled and said, "Of course, it's part of the premium package." Premium, my Now, Tamara had always been a control freak. Ever since she wrangled her way into the HOA presidency 5 years ago, she'd slowly morphed the neighborhood into her personal empire. And it wasn't just about trash bins or fence height anymore. She had bigger ambitions, whispered rumors about cozy land deals, secret meetings with developers, and suddenly, this beach? My beach? She saw me and had the audacity to wave. "Jake, so glad you're here," she chirped. "We've had such promising interest in your stretch of coast. I knew you'd want to be part of something bigger." I stared at her. "My what now?" She just smiled. "The HOA approved the shoreline integration plan. Technically, your land is non-conforming under our new zoning adaptation, and since you've never fenced it off, it's been classified as semi-public for years. You really should have responded to the Environmental Access Survey last quarter." I was stunned. I didn't even know there was a survey. Let me be clear. This land was never part of the HOA. I bought it before the neighborhood even existed. I maintain it. I pay taxes on it. I hold the original deed, signed and notarized decades ago. But to Tamara, that didn't matter. All that mattered was that my beachfront had no visible border, and that to her made it fair game. In her mind, if it wasn't walled off with motion sensors and lasers, it might as well be unclaimed land. I told her calmly at first that she needed to leave, that she was trespassing, that her group was too, and she actually laughed. "Call whoever you want," she said. "The deals are already in motion." I wish I could say that's where it ended. But no, that was just the first punch. What came next? A full-blown war. That night, I stayed up, digging through every legal document I had. Deeds, surveyor's maps, tax receipts, photos of my grandpa building the boathouse. Then I called Janessa, my lawyer and land dispute assassin. She's got a growl in her voice and a vendetta against shady HOAs. The moment I explained what Tamara was doing, she said, "Jake, this woman just committed fraud," with a smile. "Let's burn it all down." By sunrise, I had drone operators mapping the property, surveyors staking borders, and a set of bold metal signs ready to be hammered in. Private property, not affiliated with Cedarview HOA. Trespassers will be prosecuted. The signs went up at every entry point. And still, Tamara didn't stop. The very next morning, a young couple showed up with a folder and a dream. They were here to see Lot 3, according to Tamara's brochure. Lot 3 was my fire pit. They told me they'd already paid a $7,500 deposit. I showed them the deed. Their jaws dropped, and just like that, they realized they were pawns in a very illegal game. It wasn't just my land Tamara was selling. She was hawking fake parcels to outside investors, using bogus maps and doctored renderings with claims like pending approval, and legacy parcels with grandfathered access. All lies. Janessa sent a cease and desist. Then another. Then we filed with the zoning board, the state environmental agency, and the county DA. But Tamara, she escalated. One morning I was jolted awake by the sound of engines, bulldozers, trucks, gravel being poured. Tamara had sent a construction crew to build a service road straight through the dunes. She claimed it was part of the HOA's Emergency Access Initiative in case of coastal wildfires. Only one problem. It was my dune. And the bulldozer? It had flattened one of the last protected patches of native dune grass left in our county. It also crushed a nesting area for plover birds, federally protected species. That was the moment everything changed. We didn't just have a property issue anymore, we had an environmental crime scene. Within 72 hours, the state issued an injunction. No one, including Tamara, was allowed within 100 feet of my land. The beach was fast-tracked for conservation status. And the cherry on top? Tamara was hit with lawsuits from not one, not two, but 3 families who had paid her thousands. One couple had even sold their home based on her fake promises. They had screenshots, bank transfers, voicemails of Tamara calling my beach just a minor title adjustment away from paradise. Meanwhile, I had a 12-foot privacy fence installed, motion cameras, live feed from my tiki bar roof. And yes, I did install a dye spray security system. So when Tamara tried to sneak back one night with bolt cutters, she got a full blast of neon blue foam. She ran, screaming, covered head to toe in Smurf sauce. Someone caught it on live stream. It went viral. That clip, over 100,000 views. Comments ranged from HOA gone wild to why does she look like a blueberry trying to break into Narnia? Her fall from power was swift. The HOA board, which she'd manipulated for years, held an emergency vote. She was fired, locked out, and stripped of her privileges. Her reign was over, but I wasn't done. I threw a beach party, not just any party. The access denied, beach bash, tiki torches, barbecue DJ, drone footage. We streamed it live with a banner on the feed that read, "Private, legally owned, not for sale." And because Karma's a crowd favorite, Tamara showed up in a wig with a red solo cup, trying to blend in. She lasted 5 minutes before a teenager shouted, "Isn't that the HOA lady who tried to steal the beach?" She was booed off the sand. Again. Eventually, she tried to sue me, accused me of emotional damage, financial sabotage, and, get this, weaponized humiliation. Her lawyer called me a cyberbully. My lawyer filed it under a folder titled Karen versus Reality. Last I heard, Timura moved out of Cedarview. The beach? It's officially a protected ecological site. No one can build on it. Ever. There are state signs now. Metal-plated. Permanent. Tamara's dream of coastal development, dead and buried beneath government regulation and public laughter. As for me, I repainted the tiki bar, rebuilt the dock, and added one final sign near the private path. Wooden, carved and stained with the same blue dye that marked Tamara's infamous midnight stroll. It reads, "No trespassing, especially not Tamara. Now it's your turn." Have you ever dealt with an HOA nightmare? A power-hungry neighbor? Or someone who thought ownership was just a technicality? Drop your story in the comments. I know there are more of you out there. Let's hear how you stood your ground, or how you wish you did. And hey, never let anyone sell your beach, not even in heels.